Hey friends, hope you're doing well. These are my Yuketen boots. I love Yuketen. I think they're one of the most interesting, unique companies making traditional hand-sewn moccasins in Maine today. Yuketen is run by this guy Mansita or something. Masada. He's a freaking sweetheart of a guy. I've talked to him a bit on Instagram, and he also did an incredible podcast with the folks over at Stitch Down that I highly recommend. But he's just an extremely inspired, passionate person, and Yucatan boots are, I mean, they're quite expensive. I always get mine from Mr. Porter. Once in a while, some of the Yucatan boots will go on sale. Once in a while, you'll find them for closer to the $300-$400 range. Sometimes two something, but if you get super lucky, but they generally retail from like $700 to like $1,000. And you right away run into that question of, are they worth it? And I would say artistically, yes. Quality, craftsmanship, yes. Durability, that remains to be seen. No matter what, no matter what kind of leather you use, no matter how beautiful a boot like this is made, it's never gonna like be as tough and durable as your sort of your smoke jumper, your Drew's lager boot. It just won't be. So but artistically, the way these boots are built, like one of my favorite things about following Yuki on Instagram is he's constantly sharing his boots, like samples or from a factory. He's constantly sharing the insides. And he's not even sharing them to go, hey, look how great these boots are. He's half the time he's sharing them of like, here's something that I'm obsessed with. This stitching is something I'm obsessed with. Maybe you'll appreciate this too. Maybe this will give you a kick as well. But you get the feeling of just sincerity and passion and authenticity that he is genuinely obsessed. Like I bet he dreams in stitching. I bet he, like he just when he sleeps, he just thinks of like the internal components of a boot and how it's built and who made it. And he's worked with a lot of different factories. They do have a line now that are made in Italy, and those boots are really cool as well. There's a mock toe in there that's sort of like going off of like a Red Wing Super Grip from the '90s. It says it's inspired by a '90s, the American boot that Yuki owned, but I'm sure it's the Super Grip by Red Wing. But he uses fascinating leathers. I've got another pair with the super the hairiest rough out suede that I've ever seen, similar to that stuff that Grandstone's been running the past couple of years. That stuff's from CF Stead, but Yuki got his from Italy, I think. But this is a really soft rough out, and yeah, it's a Goodyear flat welt leather. These are all internal leather components. I think it's called pinking, right? Is that what that's called? Just that beautiful cut. These retail for a little bit less. These like retailed for I think closer to like 6 or something. I got them for less than that for sure. But they're works of art. The tongue is this black pebbled bison leather, very very soft. Again, that's something that most boot companies, they either use the same hide, which is sometimes a good thing, sometimes not a good thing, or they'll use like a supple, soft kind of standard leather. But Yucatan's always using like kind of the most interesting, beautiful, but still very very comfort oriented tongues. They're just like incredibly well thought out boots. Yucatan made in USA by leather artisans in Maine or something like that. They're just they have a robustness, they have a quality to them that is just super cool. Got the black Vibram Christie sole. Personally, I'm not the biggest wedge sole guy, but when they are in black, I just that works better for me. Yeah, beautiful stitch work. And these feel like socks. They have that comfort that you can get from a moccasin boot. Really what they are like they're like Sebago or Sebago. They make some really interesting boots. Now they're all made in El Salvador. GH Bass used to make some really cool like quail hunting boots. Yucatan is sort of keeping the traditional Maine hunting boot alive, but with a really, really interesting perspective. I mean, he's got boots with like bandana printed leather and camo printed leather, just really, really inspired, interesting boots. Yeah, he's just going for it. Now, I don't know if these are made in the Quadi factory, if they're made, I don't think they're made in the Rancourt factory. I'd like really doubt that just because like Rancourt makes a great boot, but they're just a tier quality down. If I had to guess, I think he's working with Quadi or he just opened up his own little factory in Maine. I imagine he employs 3 or 4, senior leather artisans that maybe want to go at a slower pace, but really, really make a great boot. If I had to guess, that's what's going on. Yucaten's made boots in Mexico. They still make their kind of like clogs or like Birkenstock style slippers. They make those, I believe, in Portugal. But yeah, there's stuff that they're making in Italy and in Maine right now. It's just like super inspired, super interesting. And ironically, like this is the closest I'll ever get to like a fashion boot. These aren't fashion boots at all, but they are super inspired. Without compromising at all on any of the quality. It's very much like what are the traditions and how could we bring those out? How could we show the beauty of those? How could we beautify what's already being done? Now this might be not the greatest example. So if you're not familiar with Yuketen boots, I would recommend just checking them out, like Googling them, and just ignore the price. They are too expensive. I think actually more people would own them and have them if they weren't $700, $800, $900. I would own more pairs of Yukatens. But I've gotten lucky. I've gotten quite a few on sale, but yeah, all that to say. And by the way, if you're a size 9, 9 in boots, that's Yuki size, and he'll run sample sales sometimes. You can get some really interesting pairs that way for a lot less. But yeah, I mean, and he's just you could talk to him on Instagram, and he like loves what he does. He's a great dude. Leather insole, leather midsole, leather heel counter, just all beautiful components. Yeah, they're inspired. They're interesting. Yeah, like I said, I mean they're sort of that perfect blend of heritage, but still strange. He has another company called Monitaly or Monitaly, and they make clothing. They make all their clothing in the U.S. Ironically, even though it's Italy, I don't know. Or most of their clothing they make in the U.S. and they're really, really inspired and interesting. And again, that's like the clothing expression of Yuki. So you're getting one man's vision, one man's artistical dream, but he's also obsessed with the manufacturing. He's obsessed with the factory side. Again, to the point like where like his Instagram is just like, hey, check out this inner, interesting like. I mean, he'll show boot style like construction that I didn't even know was like I don't even know what it is. But he's just like, look at this, and then he'll kind of explain it, and I kind of have to understand it. He's obsessed with how the boots are made. He's giving, there's no lies inside of these boots. He's giving people just incredibly made, beautifully made boots. And this leather, I mean, I shouldn't ignore just the uppers, like a beautiful chocolate rough out brown supple leather. It's robust, but it's supple. I wore these in New Orleans. My first time in New Orleans, I wore these and, ran around town, did a lot of walking and was fine, was super comfortable in them. Yeah, man, I love Yuketen. They're just really, really cool. And again, I'd love to do a video of like covering all my Yuketen footwear and just kind of like giving a bit more of a broader look on them. But yeah, like I said, I would urge you to just check them out, just to see what's possible. They're what do you call them? Something hunter boots. Yuketen, I don't know. Quail, they're not quail hunter, duck hunter boots, something. They're really, really nice. They make it an 8-inch kind of luggy mock toe boot. Anyway, yeah, hope you enjoyed these. Hope you found this interesting. And yeah, thanks for watching. Hope you have a lovely day.